I'm Mark.
I'm Justin.
And we're My Loving Tiger.
We started this band 17 years ago. Now we're back.
To revisit, re-record, and re-release every song we've ever written.
So come and join us.
Hello and welcome back to the channel.
In this video, we take a look at recording vocals for Homage to an Emphatic You.
So, what's this song about?
You at one point told me a story that you said, you know, this is what the character in this story is because it's kind of a character.
It is a story. I mean, in that, like, Cupboard Wars was like a story about like trying to find a job, and you get the guy that's trying out all the jobs. And this one was also job related.
Right.
The idea is that you get promoted to middle management, and then your job now is to not produce anything, but to police people. And your metrics of how well you're doing at your job are like, how many people have you reprimanded this month? How many people have you fired? Like, how many people have you know what I mean? Like,
delivering the message.
Yeah, right. And it's never usually a positive metric. It was, just this idea that like, okay, you get put in this position, and then what do you do when you're too scared to like tell that person like, oh, you're fired? And then you're too scared to like
tell your boss,
well, I'm not going to do that. And so you're stuck in this spot. You don't do either. I was really on this job thing at the time.
I remember like, you were pretty mad at some of the people above you. It scarred you.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I got lots of songs about working. I mean, that's what, when you're the working man, you write songs about what you know. I mean, and I was never in middle management. It was just this sort of like, what if I was in that position? How would I feel, and like how would I handle these things if I was put into that position? And it was this idea of like paralysis. That's what it's about.
If you zoom out a little bit and you don't know that backstory, you could draw other lines through the lyrics. A lot of people are in relationships where they can't tell the truth, or they're scared to tell the truth. Like it says, like, what does that say about you that you're so scared to even be yourself?
Right. It could be the band. Like, what do you do when you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna like make this music that's like dishonest and not myself, and I just want this music to get me famous, or I just want this music to be liked by everyone.
Right.
Because if I showed the actual music I wanted to create, no one would like it.
Right.
And then what does that say about you, that you're just trying to put something out there that's not authentic?
So I think in some ways the song is really about being authentic.
The overall theme of it is like being authentic and being yourself, or being brave enough, I guess I would say.
Yeah, you don't say that, but yeah.
Yeah, brave enough to like be yourself.
I would say there's two kind of interesting vocal affectations.
Oh yeah, the song does have that. Yeah, something that we don't normally do, I guess. Or this is like the premiere of it, because we're moving chronologically from the oldest song we wrote to the newer songs we've written. So chronologically, we've reached a new tool in the belt, or whatever. There's like a exasperated whoa, and then a whisper.
Right.
And the vocals actually didn't change much from the demo. The verses didn't change at all. The choruses got a little more aggressive, and there's a couple higher notes that got in there to make them punch a little harder. But the demoed out vocals were pretty solid.
So let's take a look at those vocals.
First, we'll set up our vocal guide track. The vocal guide track will play the melody of the vocal line. It gives us something to sing along with and ensures that we're singing the correct notes. It also makes it apparent if you're sharp or flat. Here's an example of the vocal guide track. I will pick a section of the song and set up a loop. I will sing that section multiple times. Here I start with the first verse.
What do you do when you're too scared to give up everything? What do you do when you're too scared to give up everything? What do you do when you're too scared, to give up everything? That was a rough one. What do you do when you're too scared to give up everyone? What do you do when you're too scared to give up everyone? What do you do when you're too scared to give up everyone.
Then, once I've sang the section multiple times, I will edit together a final take. Here is the final take of the first verse edited together with the full vocal effect chain.
What do you do when you're too scared to give up everything? What do you do when you're too scared to give up everyone?
Then I move on to the second verse.
What do you do when you're too scared to ruin your whole life? Ooh, shaky. What do you do when you're too scared to ruin your whole life? What do you do when you're too scared to ruin your whole life? What do you do when you're too scared to ruin everyone else's life? What do you do when you're too scared to ruin everyone else's life? What do you do when you're too scared to ruin everyone else's life?
Here is the final take of the second verse with the full vocal effect chain.
What do you do when you're too scared to ruin your whole life? What do you do when you're too scared to ruin everyone else's life?
Then I move on to the third verse.
What do you do when you're too scared to tell anyone the truth? What do you do when you're too scared to tell anyone the truth? What do you do when you're too scared to tell anyone the truth? What do you do when you're so scared? What does that say about you? What do you do when you're so scared? What does that say about you? What do you do when you're so scared? What does that say about you?
Here is the final take of the third verse with the vocal effect chain.
What do you do when you're too scared to tell anyone the truth? What do you do when you're so scared? What does that say about you?
Now I move on to the chorus.
I don't remember signing up for this. I don't remember signing up for this. I don't
Here is the final take of the chorus with the full vocal effect.
I don't remember signing up for this. I don't remember ever wanting this.
So that was vocals.
Comment below if you can recommend a good middle management book for us because we're looking for a promotion.
It was so long. The screwing of the average man.
I actually read a book like that.
I know, you borrowed it to me.
Oh.
I read it. That's what it's called.
I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, you gave it to me. I read it.
That's a good book.
Long time ago, yeah.
Yeah.
That might even have been the premise of this song.
Yeah, that book says that your role is to screw everyone more than you're being screwed.
Right.
Which was like, that's dark, but okay.
Yeah. You know, that might be it. Anyway, once you found that book, head over to Spotify or listen here on YouTube to the final version of Homage to an Emphatic You. If you want to stay connected, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications. Also, join our mailing list. There's a link in the description below.
See you in the next video when we wrap up
Homage to an Emphatic You.